Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Sunday's news. The campaign trail for PNG National Party in the Momasa region is almost complete. Prior to the Morbe visit, the party was in West Sepik to witness the nomination of its candidate, Robert Nalaik, who will contest the Vanimo Green River seat. Party leader, Keranga Kwa, says PNG National Party is confident to form the next government if people elect genuine leaders.
The former Attorney General and Justice Minister arrived on a charter into the sleepy town of Vanimo to back his candidate, Robert Nalaik. The visit to West Sepik is part of its campaign trail.
Please welcome to Vanimo. I'm so glad. Welcome to Vanimo.
Robert Nalaik will be challenging one of West Sepik's favorite sons and current sitting MP, Belden Nama. Party leader Keranga Kua witnessed the nomination of his candidate in front of electoral officers in Vanimo town. Speaking after the nomination, the PNG National Party leader called on the people to elect genuine leaders.
You look good, lo sok money come na talk. Now you must invest in future you. In this case, no alternatives. That's the truth.
Not much promise was shared in the visit, but party officials say the party has no bad records and is pushing to form the next government if results swing their way after polling.
Untarnished record, long history, long politics.
It will be a hard-fought battle for Robert Nalaik as campaigns set to begin. But the PNG National Party is confident of facing off with the Nama regime.
Water supply, lighting system place, kind of and vision party and one we're asking people long. One more green
Jack Lapave, Junior National, EMTV News.
Residents in Madang town want to see a positive change in their community and demand that whoever wins this election must serve the interest of their people. A man from Bogia district, Fidelis Sogeri, says they want a leader who can change the system of governance in this country so that it benefits the people. He said this election is crucial for Papua New Guineans to be able to benefit and own their resources. Martha Lewis files this report from Madang.
This group of people told EMTV successive governments have failed the people of Madang in providing the much-needed service like the road infrastructure.
Infrastructure na planti something, planti through ibagarap. Gaman blow money, pull up. You talk lo heaven area, I'm going inside the bush, the real bush inside the mountain. Quanta blow kill, side, togat happen, bagarap.
Sogeri says despite being politically independent, PNG needs to be economically independent as well. And whoever forms the next government must look at ways to involve the locals to develop their own resources.
But system where I'm stuck inside the whole nation of operate long need to be changed. And must meet them requirement lo mibla so-called Papua New Guineans.
They say they want a government that must look into creating business opportunities for them, but also give them the chance to develop their businesses using their creativeness.
One time, Papua New Guinea take ownership our resources. Mibla how we can create a more project where I can involve him, I can employ me long, involve inside long. One plus something to me, political independence, but economical independence, it's a must that what is economy? Economy must be understood by every individual Papua New Guinea. So, time mibla understanding economy, but mibla sawe one kind of skills, na method, na ideas, mibla can involve that mibla can align him living standard, mibla kamantablo this new system, or we call him economy system.
Since 2010, Madang has had to contend with rising crime, a drop in tourism, bad roads, and limited opportunities for local people. These are also important points expressed by ordinary people. Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Madang.
Sitting Nuku MP Joseph Sungi is confident of defending his seat in the West Sepik province. Sungi said developments in the last 5 years is the result of the people's votes in 2012. He made this statement after nominating in Nuku this week.
Earlier this week, the sitting MP took the roads of Nuku in style to nominate. Hundreds came to witness and pledged their political alliance with the MP. A former administrator to being a political head, Joe Sungi completed his nomination and witnessed by the returning officer, Francis Yawalan. Sungi received an overwhelming reception as he stepped out of the office following his nomination. Defending his seat, MP Joe Sungi told those that gathered the improvement of services reaching the people is the reason behind being elected in 2012.
Something you look come up. And the result, no decision in 2012.
Nuku sits in an ideal strategic geographic location in West Sepik. However, its connection is missing. In the past 5 years, the Nuku district prioritized road construction and work is 90% progressing. Sungi will be challenged by 9 other candidates in this year's election. Among them is former Nuku MP Andrew Kumbako. Sungi will face his rivals as campaign and polling nears, but he says he is confident of being re-elected. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We will be back with more after these messages. Welcome back to National EMTV News. The Lands Department thinks it's solving land problems with its new laws, but a company says otherwise. The company is proving new land laws discriminate Papua New Guinea customs and violate human rights. Recently, the Lands Department asked agricultural leaseholders to return their titles to them. Bethany Harriman with this report.
The company says 3% of customary land in Papua New Guinea has been alienated since independence. The biggest culprit, the government.
3% of the customary land has been alienated, and that has been now been owned by the government of Papua New Guinea.
The Communal Land Development Company says the Constitution doesn't protect customary laws. Medical doctor One Ragiao says new land registration laws also ignore human rights laws by ignoring customs.
Once the land is incorporated, the customary or customs ceased, meaning that this may be your customary land, but when you incorporate your customary land, the customs no longer applies. Now, which means, having to have a customary land, we have customary rights, and that means our human rights. IOG is against our human rights.
Dr. Ragiao is also facing land issues in Aroma, where he comes from. He is not alone. Many are questioning the same laws. In February this month, an award-winning activist spoke about the challenges of customary landowners.
There is no buffer zone, there is no freedom, there is no... something no at unseen carabus. So this is what special system bring come to Papua New Guinea.
The Lands Department responded on the 5th of April. It announced for special agriculture business leases to be returned.
SAB lease. It's all cancelled, so they should now come forward to the department and surrender their title. So
what we will do is we will convert those SABL titles back to something that is workable, and we'll give it back to them.
That the underlying law, which was formed from British common law and PNG customary laws, has been overlooked.
The Lands Department thinks it's solving the problem, but the Communal Land Development Company says otherwise.
The rights of the registration, where does it go? With the Lands Department or with the Lands Titles, the Lands Title Commission? And in fact, according to his information, it was the Lands Title Commission got a right to do that. But currently, you and I know that is the Lands Department doing it. And whilst they are doing it, we appreciate the concept they use, but it's the wrong concept they're using.
Papua New Guinea got independence in order to protect and fully benefit from its own resources. But people are still protesting alienation, their freedom and ownership of their land. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News.
The 2017 edition of Kumul Game Changers has seen entrepreneurs across sectors and industries submit innovative proposals for funding. Recently, applicants from around Port Moresby had the opportunity to pitch their products and ideas to a panel of experts. Leanne Joari with this story.
The country is teeming with innovative entrepreneurs looking for avenues to launch their ideas and products. Since the 2017 Kumul Game Changers began, countless entrepreneurs have applied for a chance to develop their ideas and to ultimately be game changers. It's an opportunity that cannot be passed up, and the applicants who turned up to pitch to a panel of experts today understood this. Panelist Anthony Smare, chairman of the Kumul Foundation, and KGC's very own success story Shane Ninai were blown away by the sheer creativity of the entrepreneurs. The applicants will be narrowed down to 40 finalists who will take part in the intensive entrepreneurial boot camp. The entrepreneurs have ideas and products for sectors ranging from agriculture to e-commerce.
Papua New Guinea has a lot of problems, like any developing country. The solutions to those problems, we have it already. It's in our people. And so many people look at particular problems that they're encountering, and they already can think of how to actually deal with that problem. And our program is there to actually help those people.
Leanne Joari, National EMTV News.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands will build a new head office in Port Moresby. Away from politics, Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare turned the sword with Catholic bishops Rokus Tatamai to signify the construction. The new headquarters will house CBC departments in the coordination, planning and implementation of the evangelical and social outreach programs of the Catholic Church in the region. Cardinal Sir John Ribat was also present with other dignitaries to witness the occasion. The new headquarters is funded by local and international donors. The Lay Fire Service is in urgent need of fuel. The fleet of only one truck has fuel enough to fill half its tank. Officer in charge, Superintendent Bal Kena, says financial assistance has been very little from the national and Morobe provincial governments. He is asking the general public to take extra care and think fire safety during the election period.
In case of any major outbreak of fire, people are anything about containing spread of fire because of fuel limitation. The Melek Toksawal Chamber of Commerce, both private and public sectors, regional buildings, all must make sure that their home is safe during this peaceful period. Because people are not going to feel turn out to major calls. People got them thanking me halfway.
You're watching National EMTV News. Don't go away. We have more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Technical and Vocational Education Training Programs, or TVET, provides an opportunity for school leavers to pursue their education in private and technical institutions. The NCD and Moresby South TVET programs, initiated by Governor Paul Sparkop and Moresby South MP Justin Chichenko, has funded over 50,000 students currently studying and already in the workforce. MAPEX Training Institute Managing Director Marcus Kara spoke to MTV News about the significance of this program. Erika Rupma reports.
Over 50,000 students have benefited from the NCD and Moresby South TVET program since its inception in 2000. MAPEX Training Institute Managing Director Marcus Kara told MTV News that for MAPEX Training Institute, this program has helped many unfortunate students attending the institution. He said this program also addresses law and order problems in NCD by educating youths to find full-time employment.
Some their parents harass their own parents. They came just for the city to enjoy their life, but the life in the city is really tough. So the TVET program is really helping them.
Between 2016 and 2017, MAPEX Training Institute has enrolled over 500 TVET-sponsored students. From the TVET funding, over 800,000 kina was allocated to the institution. It was used for the institution's infrastructure development, student dormitories and learning facilities.
We utilized the fundings that was given, which is 350,000 for the dormitory, messing facilities, and the kitchen and ablution blocks. Now, whatever amount that is come, hopefully we might receive more than 500,000.
Annually, hundreds of students have gone through this educational program funded under NCD and Mosby South Electorate DSIP through Governor Pois Pakop and Justin Tichenko. Eric Arukma, National MTV News.
The body of a middle-aged man was found yesterday evening at a Port Moresby suburb. He has been identified as Peter Tiame, a 56-year-old from Sinisina district in Simbu province. Police say the cause of death could be a hit and run. The family is calling on eyewitnesses to come forward to help with police investigations.
The deceased body was found around 7 p.m. yesterday by Pitpit Street residents in North Waigani. 56-year-old Peter Tema is a father of 3 and a grandfather who was on his way to work when he was allegedly hit by a vehicle. The family say he was dragged all the way to Bora Bora Primary School crossing.
Tema em lo Chimbu, lo Sina. Mi reside lo Pitpit Street lo ya. Na all emi gatuk la pingine boy emi stop lo place. Na ikat nar la big la gele.
Peter Tema is a security guard with Pacific Corporate Security. The family say he left at around 6 p.m. to wait for the company vehicle to pick him up.
One time I'm loyal, roughly about 6 to 7 o'clock. The last me looking at I'm loyal, roughly about 6 to 7. But I'm walk about go. I'm thinking to walk, so I think night shift. So I'm take up go like go to workplace and I go along and I'm not very long distance. I go close to the Borobo Tasul and accident come.
Unfortunately, news arrived to the family of the accident. The family then identified him. They are now appealing to any bystanders who may have witnessed the incident to come forward and help with police investigation.
Identify me also. Time will come talk sao lawyer me go and up and. Carried members some from the start to end there, I'm estimating 15 meters, 10 to 15 meters. So I'm eating them, na drag them, go lose them, slab, na car and pull flight go. So me play family, I'm dog lig na me play na identify car, but me play family, me play really concern or some. We got some all the bystanders number only identify the vehicle and me play appeal or some all can go through the police station and give him a particulars blocker. Now also something by making possible or investigation by police.
It is understood that the traffic police is currently handling the case. Anyone who may have information about the incident are asked to contact Baroka 4 Mile Traffic. Adelaide Kari National, MTV News.
Back to the elections. At the close of nominations on Thursday, in the autonomous region of Bougainville, 73 candidates nominated to contest this year's national general elections. This is an increase of 5 from the 68 biodata information or Form 29 submitted to the Papua New Guinea Electoral Commission. Among them, only 5 women. Our journalist in Buka, Fabian Hakalitz, gives us an analysis of the nominations and then brings us this special report.
Nominations for the 2017 national general election in the autonomous region of Bougainville was peacefully conducted with no reports of major crimes or casualties.
For Bougainville Regional, we received 9 nominations. Bougainville North, we received 31 nominations. For Central, we received 21, and for the South Bougainville electorate, we received 12 nominations. So there's a total of 73 candidates that we've received.
Independent candidates with 34. Political party with the highest is Som Pioneer with 9, National Alliance Party, People's Progress Party and Social Development Party with 4, while the rest is 3 downwards. Now, out of the 73 candidates are only 5 women nominated. Only 2 political parties, the People's Progress Party and Social Development Party, have endorsed the women candidates.
It's 2 for Bougainville North, 2 for Central, and 1 for South. For the regional, unfortunately, we did not receive any female nominations.
Bougainville is renowned for promoting women into parliament, with the allocated 3 women reserve seats in the Bougainville House of Representatives, and also implementing the temporary special measures policy.
It's only through the party system or the party can help the women to go out and campaign through the campaign and then
run as candidates for any open electorate and in elections. At least political parties should give them a fair chance by endorsing them.
Now, this national general election is very crucial and important for the autonomous region of Bougainville, considering the fact that in 2019, Bougainville will go through its referendum quest deciding on its future political status, and what the people want is for good leadership. Leadership that will be able to influence the national government to give Bougainville its full right to self-determination as set in the Bougainville Peace Agreement. In Buka, Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
A new political party called PNG One Nation Party is confident that it will win seats in the 2017 national elections. Party leader Joseph Joe Tonde, a candidate for Mosby Northwest, says he is confident that his endorsed candidates will win. The party leader's nomination was one of the biggest in Port Moresby.
While the party is new, the party leader isn't. Joseph Joe Tonde is a businessman turned missionary who helps build churches around the country. Originally from Kopiam Ambom district in Enga, the businessman/missionary says he is now ready to enter the political arena to be the voice of the silent majority. This week, his nomination for the Mosby Northwest saw a total of 300 vehicle convoyed to see it happen.
Me looking also as a party leader, me looking also Papua New Guinea, only looking strength below me aste. Me been blocking all traffic inside lo NCDC aste. Also, so me survey also lo this last seat lo must be northwest by all by declaring me lo 1 vote. So thank you.
His party has 4 main policies.
First one, God first. People like put him religion ministry inside of Papua New Guinea, want to have national government budget. Law move him gospel forward. Secondly, people like put him youth ministry inside of Papua New Guinea. Law save him, rescue youth inside of Papua New Guinea. Thirdly, people like put him women ministry inside of Papua New Guinea, want to have national government budget. Blow him yet.
He, who has been helping the community, says small details of one's life should not be overlooked before addressing bigger projects.
All nogat wara, health services, education, man all victim all over places. Something where me must talk past time before me total big plus something.
His party is endorsing a total of 50 candidates out of the 111 seats, and he is quite confident most of them will win.
Got plenty something is up, gold is up, silver is up, copper is up, cocoa is up yet. But why not me go poor? So me like silencing more voters inside the country, also almost making all good leader.
Adelaide Srox, Kari National, EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, United States President Donald Trump celebrated his 100 days in office. Trump celebrated but couldn't let go of the past, especially the elections.
On the eve of his 100th day in office, President Trump seems hard-pressed to let go of the 2016 campaign.
I see all of those beautiful red and white hats. But we will never forget our favorite slogan of them all, Make America Great Again.
The president traveling to Atlanta to address one of his most supportive audiences, the National Rifle Association.
The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end.
Nearly 6 months after winning the presidency, Mr. Trump yet again recounting his victory.
November 8th, Wasn't that a great evening? Do you remember that evening?
Mr. Trump also revisiting his bruising primary fight with Ted Cruz, who flew aboard Air Force One to Georgia with the president.
Like, dislike, like.
At the White House earlier in the day, the president's focus was on his accomplishments in office.
It's a false standard, 100 days, but I have to tell you, I don't think anybody has done what we've been able to do in 100 days.
Still, the president reflecting on his short time in Washington, telling Reuters the job is tougher than he expected.
This is more work than in my previous life. I thought it would be easier. I do miss my old life. I like to work, so that's not a problem, but this is actually more work.
That acknowledgement prompting this response from Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer in an interview with CNN's Manu Raju.
Mr. President, you're in the NFL. This is the big leagues. And of course it's a hard job. It's probably the hardest job in the world.
The White House has held a briefing for the Senate on North Korea's nuclear missile threat to the world. North Korea is high on the agenda. The Senate was told about the emerging threat and how the Trump administration would deal with it. But the Senate found there was no new information.
The White House taking the unusual step of busing the entire U.S. Senate to the White House for a briefing on North Korea, signaling growing alarm about the threat from the nuclear state.
It was a sobering briefing and an important opportunity for the entire Senate to hear the emerging plans of the Trump administration to confront what is a very real threat.
The meetings led by the president's national security team, Defense Secretary James Mattis, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Joseph Dunford, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, and Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates. After the briefing, senators from both parties stressed the seriousness of the threat, but said no new information was given, raising questions about whether a trip to the White House was necessary or just for show.
You were inside. What was the revelation?
No revelations. I think the White House wanted to convey to the Congress that they're serious about North Korea. They clearly are putting a lot of their cards on the table with China to try to get them to change their policy.
I didn't hear anything that is different from what is publicly reported about the threat level.
The commander of U.S. forces in the Pacific told lawmakers Wednesday that he's taking the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at his word, that he's developing a missile capable of hitting the U.S.
We have to look at North Korea as if Kim Jong-un will do what he says.
In response, the U.S. is taking urgent steps.
My forces are ready to fight tonight if called on to do that.
Admiral Harris announced that a U.S. anti-missile system known as the THAAD will be operational in South Korea within days. The system intended to protect the South and Japan from a North Korean missile strike.
This week, North Korea threatened Australia with a nuclear strike, a powerful reminder to the entire international community that North Korea's missiles point in every direction.
Admiral Harris took the blame for confusion about when the USS Carl Vinson will arrive in the region. This after President Trump touted its deployment last week. The carrier group, he assured lawmakers, is now nearby in the Philippines and ready to act if called upon.
As President Trump and Secretary Mattis have made clear, all options are on the table. We want to bring Kim Jong-un to his senses, not to his knees.
Jim Sciutto, CNN, Washington.
You're watching National EMTV News. True Guy Sports is up next. We bring to you an update on the 2017 Morobe Open, as well as other sporting updates. Stay tuned.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. Queenslander Christopher Wood has taken the 2017 True Guy Paradise Beverages Morobe Open. With 6 under par for 66, Wood shot to the top of the leaderboard after a good weekend of putting.
I don't really know. I guess I'm very happy. It hasn't fully sunk in yet. My first professional 4-round victory, so obviously very happy with everything all week. Yep, just very excited. Probably just patience and maybe just short game. I didn't hit the ball all that great all week. I didn't get into much trouble either, saying that. So I putted well, chipped and putted well, and I think that's key, yeah. Yeah, I played well over the weekend, which I think is very important if you want to win a tournament. I stuck to the game plan all week, and the putts went in, and here I am standing as the winner, so I'm very, very proud.
To rugby league, the SPPNG Hunters had a successful home game yesterday at the National Football Stadium against Northern Pride. The 26-10 win now puts PNG second on the Intrust Super Cup points ladder just after the Townsville Blackhawks. They are on bye for round 10 and will take on the Blackhawks in a home game in round 11. Moving on to cricket, and it was a perfect start for the CPL PNG Leoas on Friday in Japan against Vanuatu in the ICC Women's World T20 East Asia Pacific qualifier campaign. The 9-wicket victory comes as PNG showed why it is the dominant force within the region.
Batting first, Vanuatu quickly succumbed to strong PNG bowlers in the likes of Ravini Owa, Sibona Jimmy and Kaya Arua. Owa put forward impressive bowls that ousted 4 Vanuatu wickets in just 14 runs and that got the Leoas on top of the game right from the start. Vanuatu's Alvina Chilia showed some fight with 25 runs in 35 balls, but that was all she could acquire before she was sent off. Vanuatu settled for only 80 runs after 19.5 overs. The Leoas replied without any hindrance. The 81-run chase was settled in just under 11 overs. They only lost 1 wicket during the chase. Pauke Siaka once again got the Player of the Match award with an impressive 31 runs in 5 overs to a name. The Leoas are currently playing against host Japan. Dinero Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
The Paul Berry Trophy, the prestigious Rugby League World Cup trophy, left PNG today after a very short historical visit courtesy of Oil Search Limited's PNG Trophy Tour. During this short visit, many people from all walks of life had an opportunity to see it. Many former Kumul greats from Hanobada and Porebada joined former Kumul and PNG Rugby League legend Marcus Bai on the tour. Whilst the tour of the original trophy was short, Oil Search will be conducting a nationwide tour of the replica of the trophy in September and October ahead of the first game when the PNG LNG Kumuls take on Wales.
4 days this week in Port Moresby, the Rugby League World Cup trophy departed our shores today and was taken back to Australia. The trophy, also known these days as Paul Barrier Trophy in rugby league circles, caught the attention of crowds when it was put on display. Yesterday morning, the trophy was at the Vision City shopping mall, and later in the afternoon, added to the spectacle at the Intrust Cup match between the Hunters and the Northern Pride over at the National Football Stadium. Ruth Waram is the communications manager at Oil Search and was one of the organizers of the World Cup Trophy's brief visit to Papua New Guinea.
The Paul Berry Trophy was on display at the Vision City Mall public arena yesterday for the public to have a look at it, take photos with it. I don't think we will ever have that opportunity again unless the Kumuls win the Rugby League World Cup tournament. In the afternoon, the trophy was taken to the National Football Stadium for the Intrust Cup match between the PNG SP Hunters and the Northern Pride.
Only a few rugby league playing nations have lifted the Rugby League World Cup trophy after winning the competition. However, PNG is privileged to have the original trophy brought to the country.
The Paul Berry Trophy left PNG today for Australia. Although the visit was very brief, Oil Search will be conducting a nationwide tour of the Rugby League World Cup trophy.
Oil Search is wholly responsible for bringing the World Cup trophy to Papua New Guinea, as the platinum sponsor of the 3 World Cup Rugby League matches that will be played here. Ms. Waram reiterated the trophy will return in September for a longer tour, reminiscent of the 2015 Pacific Games Oil Search Baton Relay.
The Paul Berry Trophy was brought to Papua New Guinea for just 2.5 days by Oil Search as part of its sponsorship of the Rugby League World Cup 2017. Oil Search is a platinum partner with the Rugby League World Cup tournament, and we will be involved in the 3 games that will be played. The Kumuls will play at the National Football Stadium in October and November this year. So Oil Search is really pleased and would like to thank the government and the Rugby League World Cup Organizing Committee for allowing us to bring the original Paul Berry Trophy to Papua New Guinea. It was a historical occasion when the trophy visited our country, adding to the excitement of the Rugby League World Cup when for the first time the Kumuls will play 3 games at home.
And Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Wednesday afternoon saw lay-based runners test their speed against some of the country's best senior and junior athletes at the Sir Ignatius Kilage Stadium. The trial run is for the 2018 Athletics PNG INC Series. These meets, with the help of the local coaches and the provincial government, will scout top runners to prepare them for international representation. The trials are being conducted by Athletics PNG and the National Sports Institute. The Port Moresby Association will continue to stage their exhibition race at the Sir John Guy Stadium. After a colourful launch last weekend, it was crunch time yesterday for teams in the Port Moresby Netball Association. EMTV Sports caught up with the under-21 ladies in round 1 action at the Rita Flynn courts.
14 teams took the courts all geared up and ready for the season opener. The long rest since last season obviously did not affect the ladies' abilities to play good netball. Showing dominance early on were the Esco Telsters, who beat Vepunama 25-6. Followed by the PCP Lightning, who struck too hard and left the Snacks Mermaids on 8 points and took out the match with 21. The Burra Reds also showed why they are a threat in this competition with a 26-6 win over Hood Point. A tough encounter sparked between Pomis and Mona. Unfortunately, Pomis succumbed to Mona's 12 points to 22. And in other matches, CP Rebels were too slow for the CC Sparrows, losing by a 9 points margin to Sparrows 18. And the Burra Reds Team 1 ousted Raukela with only 2 points margin with the 20 points victory, while the Salvos beat Paramanas 19-12 and a C+ forfeited Esco Telsters Team 2. Dinero Straiko, National, EMTV Sports.
And that's all we have for Trukai Sports. Up next, the all-important weather report for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And here's a quick look at the weather for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Fine, although cloudy for Alotau. Cloudy with some showers expected in Port Moresby, Daru, Kerama and Popondetta. A top temperature of 31 degrees across the southern region.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that is the news, sports and weather for today, Sunday, April the 30th, 2017. Stay tuned, as up next we will have MTV's Vocal Fusion Battle of Two Seasons live from the Cosmopolitan. But for now, on behalf of the MTV News team, have a wonderful working week. Good night.